Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Wolf, and I've been wondering, are we ever going to see Scorpan in the G4 MLP series? Now, he was a big deal in the very first My Little Pony way back in the 80s. He was a character that, along with T-Rex and even Spike, was kind of in opposition to the ponies until he switched sides towards the end. And in many ways, he was fulfilling kind of that same role in the G4 Season 4 finale. And yeah, aside from a quick flashback from Celestia, where she was explaining exactly how much he was able to help the ponies from T-Rex way back in the day, we haven't seen him anywhere else in the series. It's just these few images here. And I think that's a bit of a shame, because for one, I think there's a lot of potential for including him in the series. But it's so close to the end of the series. I mean, we're only several episodes away from the finale. Are we ever going to see him? Personally, I think it would be interesting to know that he had an effect on everything, even just at the very end. Now, there are some members of the MLP staff who did want to include him. Aside from the Season 4 finale, there were also some concept images of what Scorpan would look like for the 2017 My Little Pony movie. And although he was removed from the story for the final product, there were some initial ideas on how he could be a part of everything, how he might have been assisting the Storm King at some point, or at least explaining to him what the staff could potentially do. I don't really know. But we know that T-Rex is going to be playing a major role throughout the rest of Season 9. And I have to believe, couldn't they have introduced Scorpan right towards the end for a way that T-Rex may finally realize what he's lost in pursuit of his own selfish goals? I talked about this briefly during the T-Rex therapy visit I put on my channel a little while back. And I still believe it's a very deep character possibility for both T-Rex and even Scorpan. Would it be that much of a stretch to include Scorpan in that regard? I don't honestly know, but I still think it's a bit of a waste to have him not be a part of anything in the series except for that little flashback. And you know what? I have never seen Rescue at Midnight Castle, the original 1980s My Little Pony movie, but I do know that Spike and Scorpan did have a bit of a friendship, or maybe just working with each other way back in the day. So, is it possible that aside from the connection with T-Rex, that Scorpan might have even had some little connection with Spike way back in the day? We have no idea where Spike came from, how long it took for any pony to finally hatch his egg. Is it possible that Scorpan might have had something to do with this egg ending up with Princess Celestia? I don't know whether the MLP writers had that in mind, but I've always been curious, would it make sense for Scorpan to be involved in that respect? That Scorpan either came across the egg on his own and knew that it would be safe in Pony's hands, or that he has some other deeper connection to Spike. For example, Spike has always wanted to know where he came from, and back in Season 8, when he met what he thought was his father, he was excited to learn that he actually belonged somewhere aside from with Twilight and the rest of the ponies. And yeah, it brought out a new side to him that I honestly wanted to see much more of. Would it make sense that since that episode ended with him wanting to know about his father, that Scorpan might fulfill that role in some way? Is it possible? I don't know if the MLP writers will ever take that kind of step. I mean, it may just be far too late in the series to even consider that. Unless they've already got something in the works and we just don't know yet. It's possible, but I don't know. I think it's a bit of a wasted opportunity to mention Scorpan in Season 4 and even again during a Trivial Pursuit, because they put special attention on the fact that it wasn't just T-Rex who came to this land. And yeah, we do know that Scorpan had befriended Star Swirl at some point, and that he had gone back to lands he came from after T-Rex had been dealt with in Equestria. I don't know. I'd still like to see him make a little return, even if it's very, very short during the finale. But then, what do each of you think? How many of you have even heard of Scorpan outside of G4 MLP? I mean, would it make sense to go back and watch Rescue at Midnight Castle and learn a little bit more about him? Because I don't know if I've ever actually sat down and watched that whole thing. And would it make sense to bring Scorpan back not only because of his connection to T-Rex, but possibly a connection between Scorpan and Spike as well? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Because as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.